welcome back, friends. Welcome to Kingdom Acres. I am Sandra Waldrop. So glad to have you all here. This is my segment tonight on Craft Round the Clock. If you are not part of that group, please join. It is an amazing group where creators craft back-to-back in 45-minute segments. And so it is just your one-stop shop for all of the different styles of crafting and lots of different techniques and things being shared over there. So thank you so much for joining that group and being with me here today. If you love DIY and primitive style, you are in the right place. I have a super fun and simple project that you can do, no power tools required, except for a handy dandy glue gun. Hopefully I won't burn myself tonight. That's always fun. Do me a favor and say hi in the comments. Let me know where you're from. And don't forget to just, give me a like or a share if you feel like it. Thanks for being here, y'all. Okay, so I have, when I was thinking about the project I was going to work on tonight, I was like, okay, I want it to be something super simple. Most of us have scrap wood around the house. Man, it is 9:45 at night, so I might say some funny words. We'll see where this goes. So scrap wood, pieces of scrap wood. I have just a bunch of these little 2x4 pieces that were actually given to me. I used to have a class that I was doing with a bunch of kids, and these were just like leftovers from different projects that I did with them. And so I'm like, well, I could use these 2x4, and I guess that's about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches across there. And you could, if you had one board, you could make a bunch of these. Okay, so you'll use your scrap wood, and then I have some popsicle sticks. I have 2 different sizes. I have the normal size that you would use for actual popsicles. I'm not sure what the actual size is on that because I just keep a cup of them on my craft cart all the time. And I threw away the package when I bought them. So I don't know. You can get them at Walmart, buy them on Amazon, wherever. And then I have these larger ones. Okay. And this is just like such an easy project. I'm so excited, y'all. These larger ones can be found at Walmart. I got them at Walmart. They are the giant wooden craft sticks. These are the 1.25 inch by 10 inch craft stick. And it comes in a pack of 45 from Walmart. So I bet you're having trouble guessing what we're making tonight. We are making Saltbox houses, okay? If you know anything about primitive style, you know that Saltbox houses are kind of a thing there in that style. So I hope you enjoy seeing me create these. I kind of played around beforehand, and I was like, wow, these are gonna be great. Okay, so and the thing that I like about these is that you don't need, a saw or anything crazy to cut them to size. You just need your scissors, and that's it. So I'm just going to get my scissors and cut the bigger one first. And okay, so I have it in half. I'm just going to cut off this rounded edge. Okay, and I want 2 of the same size. Okay, because that's going to give us that pitched roof. All right, and you see where I'm going with this? Let's see. It's hard to hold it in place, but once we get the glue on there, you'll be able to tell. You'll see it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. And I've had this glue gun sitting plugged in for a little while now, so hopefully I don't have any incidents. Once it's been sitting a while, it likes to get really hot and a little on the wild side. That's usually when I do my best burning of the fingers. Ooh, there's even some smoke coming off that. I'm gonna turn it to low. Remind me to turn it back up though, maybe. If you can, somebody remind me to turn it back up once it stops smoking there a little bit, steaming. Not really sure what it's doing, but it seems angry. Okay. Let's see. All right, so I put just 3 little lines of glue, one on each of the top edges, and then one on the pitch of my little craft sticks. So that's already coming together. So cute. Look at that. Okay, now if you were concerned about the holes in the side, you could just fill that with like some Model Magic or some salt dough or something. But I'm not concerned because we're just going to be looking from the front. Okay. So now I want to make my little smokestack chimney. It's called a chimney when it's houses. I live south of Houston, so we have a lot of like plants and stuff, and so I'm constantly talking about smokestacks. Kids are like, "What's that fire?" I'm like, "It's just the smokestack, you know. They're just flaring off some stuff." So, all right. So now I'm going to make a little chimney, and all right, that's perfect. And so I'm going to start with one that's probably right around 1 inch, okay? And I just want to see how tall that's going to look in comparison to my house. And I think that that's perfect. If you wanted a shorter one, you could do a shorter one. But okay, so I want 3 pieces this same size, okay? That's how we're going to make our little chimney. Get it started is just with the 3 pieces, because that 4th piece is going to be a different size, and I'll show you why here in just a second. So I'm just going to cut these. If you're joining me tonight, please go ahead and say hi. I haven't seen any comments yet. Hopefully the comments are coming through. They don't always like to come through. I'm not sure what's up with that, but I promise I'm not ignoring you if you are commenting. I'm not seeing anything on my end, okay? All right, let me get another, oh, here's my other craft stick. Okay, so I'm gonna take 2 of these, and I'm just gonna hold them together, and I'm just going to come up a little bit at an angle and just trim it. Those pieces flew. All right, so these are my sides, and you see how it's angled now at the bottom on both sides. They both have the same angle now because I cut them both at the same time. Now I want another little piece that's shorter than the front piece because since the roof is pitched, the chimney has to be pitched as well. So I'm just going to cut this, and that's going to be the back end of my chimney. Okay, so I'm going to glue these together. Hopefully you can see pretty well what's going on here. I'm going to do it on one of these blocks so you can hopefully see. So this is my front piece. I'm going to put 2 little strips of hot glue, and if you have something that would hold immediately and not burn your fingers off, that is good as well. Okay, that's going to that would probably be fantastic. But putting it on the low setting did help because I just touched the glue and I didn't try to turn that around. Got it on backwards. That's not going to be helpful. Okay. So I've got, okay. I know it's looking a little wonky. It's okay. Once you get it all put together, it's going to look great. Trust the process. Trust the process. When I was decorating cakes, I always just have to tell myself, trust the process, because when you first ice your cake, sometimes things look questionable. Oh, excuse me, I've got dogs in the background and they must have a treat or a toy or something else. And you'll probably be hearing a front door here pretty quick because I'll have a daughter coming home from work. And I don't live here alone, y'all. Praise God, I don't live here alone. So we've always got noises and activities going on and things happening in the background. And I would not have it any other way. I love it. All right, so now I've got my little chimney shape. And I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna decide which I want to be the front. I'm thinking this side. It's probably gonna. So, and I'm just gonna glue it right on there like that. I could put it in the center. Maybe I'll put it in the center. I don't lose it. I'm thinking like that. I'm thinking off to the side. I think off to the side. Okay. I turned my heat back up so that this will stick well. All right. All right. Look at that. That looking pretty good to y'all? I think it's looking pretty good. Okay. We've got, I made another one over here. All right, so we've got two. This one has a little bit of a taller chimney. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about that. I might end up taking it off and remaking a chimney for that one. We'll see. We'll see. I might just leave it just for some different looks on my little Saltbox house vignette. Okay, so you can do them this way, or you can also do some this way, just depending on your preference. I'm gonna do some both ways because I like variety. So let's see here. I'm going to get my big craft stick again. I'm going to cut off that rounded edge again. Okay, and I'm just going to see how long I need it there. Okay, you want to use some sturdy scissors with this one. You definitely don't want to be using any cheap scissors when you're cutting these craft sticks, especially these bigger ones. The smaller ones, the little guys, are easier to cut. These bigger ones, they fight you a little bit, but they cut. So I'm not worried about that. Look at that. Isn't that cute? That's gonna be cute. I like it. All right. Let's just put some glue here. And we're smoking again. Hopefully I don't get burnt. Heaven knows I don't want to be burnt right before I have a busy weekend. My girls, my two youngest girls, are in 4-H. And here in Texas, that means we have district competition all weekend. Some kids were already there today doing different competitions and stuff, but our stuff starts tomorrow, so we will be headed up there first thing tomorrow morning, and then again on Saturday. So we've got a busy weekend ahead of us, but my girls are so excited, especially the little one. It's her first year getting to go to district. She's just so excited. So excited. All right. Isn't that cute? That looks so cute. Okay. Now I'm going to make a real, I want it to be kind of short, but not too short. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Definitely don't want it super long, but okay. I'm just gonna make it and make the 3 the same length. That's the easiest way I found to do this, is just make 3 the same length and then take 2 of them and make an edge. We need another craft stick. I keep them right at hand because I use them so much. I'm always stirring stuff or mixing paint or doing something with them. You just never know. And so I was so happy to be able to use them actually in a craft and not just like as a tool for crafts. So, okay, I've got 2 together. I'm just gonna see how best to do my angle here, the best angle, and you can mark it if you need to. I come from the school of eyeballing it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it here. I can keep my little pieces together. That's the key, is getting them to stay together and keeping them. Uh-oh, this one's splitting. Uh-oh, I might have to redo that one. Well, no, it didn't split all the way. Yay! Yay! Okay, so now I just need one more, a little smaller, because that's a really steep angle. So that back end is pretty small. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue it again. Man, what would we do without these glue guns, huh? Can't imagine. How did the pioneers do it without glue guns? How did they do it? Heaven knows. Heaven knows. I certainly don't know. But I suppose as a homesteader, I should probably find out. I guess they oh, it did break. Oh no, okay. I'm gonna make another one real quick. Don't dry wonky on me. Don't dry wonky on me. Okay, I'm just gonna cut another one. Hopefully this one doesn't turn out all wonky. Goodness, okay. I'm try sticking this back together and seeing if I can cut it the same angle. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Hopefully that didn't dry already. It's, no, I'm gonna take it off. I'm just gonna scrape it off of there and keep on trucking. Keep on keeping on. That's all you can do, right? Nothing is ever perfect when you're crafting, right? There's always a little mishap, but that's okay. You just improvise. All right, scraped it off. New piece on. New piece on. Hopefully we don't get rain this weekend while I'm driving through Houston. Ooh, that is a little, makes me a little nervous to think about having to drive through Houston and the rain during rush hour, all those things. People in Houston, I tell you, I went to see my husband in Baytown last night, and I drove home this morning, and it was like 10 o'clock, like 9, 10 o'clock. So rush hour was over. It was already gone. And it was still pretty busy. It was busy, I tell you. All right. So we got that. Man, I wonder if y'all are commenting. I feel like you probably are, and I'm just not seeing it. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. Maybe if I tap it. Let's see. It might make you guys move. Let's see. It says comments will appear here, and then there's no comments. So I don't know. I don't know what's up. You just never know. You just never know what's going to happen with these things. Sorry, guys. I hope y'all are having a great conversation if y'all are commenting in there. Okay. And if you have any questions and you're commenting and I'm just not seeing it because it's not coming through, I'll respond later, maybe tomorrow, but I will respond. All right. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, I'm going to get started painting because I have a feeling the paint might take a little bit. Okay, and I've got, let's see here. I've got my black chalk paint, and I'm going to do these roofs first because I know I want the roofs to be black. And then I can go back through and get, here we go. I'll use this guy right here. I'm just gonna get me some black chalk paint. This is the Waverly chalk paint that, you know, is just at Walmart, like $7 or $8 for a whole jar of it. Not crazy expensive. I'm gonna coat this whole thing, not the whole thing. I'm gonna coat all the roof of each one in the black. And I may do some cinnamon dusting on it. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. And if you see like any gaps that you want to fill, you can just fill it with your hot glue. You could just fill it with hot glue if that's what you want to do, or you can again use a little bit of Model Magic wherever you're really wanting a good fill. I wouldn't go out and buy any like wood putty or anything for this project, just because it's, you know, it's a scrap wood type of project. I want it to be as low maintenance as possible, but if that's what you want to do, you know, you do you. I'm going to do the inside as well. You know, we all have our preferences. Some people really like, you know, and if you're going to make these to like sell at a craft show or something, then yeah, you might want to go ahead and do something a little bit fancier. I just do this stuff for my home mostly. Some things have gone to auction at like my church for, you know, fundraisers for the kids or whatever, but other than that, it's mostly just for me. Now, you could paint these before you glue them on. I did not because I wanted to show y'all all the steps, and I would have had to paint them, and it just would have complicated things on my end. And at this time of night, I can't be trusted to do that complicated of thinking, too much complicated thinking, just nope. Not a good idea for me. I'm going to confuse you. I'm going to mess things up. The house is going to start on fire. You never know what could happen over here when I'm up and doing things late at night. I usually just, at this time of night, I usually just do a lot of research. This is usually when I'm researching stuff. But you know what? I always want to, right? Like whenever I think of an idea, I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then I want to get up and get right to it. But then my husband's usually asleep right next to me. And if I get up, then he's going to be like, what's going on? Is there a burglar? You know, et cetera, et cetera. And he has to work early morning hours. So I usually just do research, usually. But I'm so happy to be here with y'all tonight. All right, got my roof nice and coated. Let's do this one over here. And I'm just going to town on these babies, going to town. Got about 20 more minutes. I think I can get these painted up in 20 minutes. What do y'all think? I think so. There's still one more crafter on Craft Around the Clock tonight. So y'all don't go to bed just yet, because when I'm done here, y'all are going to want to stick around and see the next presenter, because these ladies are just so incredibly talented, I tell you. And sometimes I'll just lay there and you know, with my little earbud in and watch other people craft and think, ooh, great ideas coming through. And then that takes me down a rabbit trail, of course, all the research happening in the night. I know I can't be the only one who like thinks of something and then can't sleep because all the research is happening. And you just can't wait to get up in the morning and go and buy all your supplies, or, you know, resource all your supplies and get going. That's me. It could be ADHD. It could be. It's a superpower. It really is. People are like, how do you do so much stuff? Well, I do so much stuff because my mind really wants to do so much stuff. I love being busy and doing all kinds of things with the kids. My daughter, my middle daughter, my 14-year-old, she is showing her calf this weekend for the first time. And so she is super excited about that. So yes, we've got district going on for 4-H, and then on top of that we have a show. A little on the busy side, just a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. But thankfully, I have a husband who is willing to divide and conquer. You hear the door creaking because my oldest daughter is home from work. Hello, my love. Hello. So she remembers the days when I was busy for her stuff too. When she was young, we did a mounted drill team, which, if you don't know what a mounted drill team, most people don't know what a mounted drill team is. It is the girls that ride around. Well, and it's not just girls. It's the people who ride around on horses with like the flags, and they ride to music and they do all the different routines. Oh my goodness. I was in horse heaven doing all that stuff because I got to be the official horse butt glitterer. Okay, that was my job when she did drill, and eventually they all did drill. They were on the team all at once at one point, and that was so much fun having all the girls on the team. My poor son, he's like, I just want to do boxing. Like, he's like, I don't want to ride horses. I don't want to do all the things that y'all are doing. Just let me do boxing. I'm like, you are such a boy. You just want to punch people. So that's what he did. But his stuff wasn't nearly as commitment intensive as any of the stuff the girls do, because all of their stuff involves animals, livestock, horse trailers, all those things. So, but because of that, I've gotten to have some really neat experiences with my family. And so, who can ask for more, right? We had, speaking of horse trailers, speaking of trailers in general, we had a golf cart, just an old rundown golf cart, okay, sitting out in my yard. Story time. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a story. This is so much. This is fun. Okay. We had a golf cart. And I told my husband, I was like, I'm tired of looking at it. Like, it doesn't run. It needs to go. So he listed it, and it sold really fast. Of course, it wasn't working, so he sold it for a very low price. And so somebody picked it up fast. Well, the guy shows up, and he's driving a Tesla, which, you know, no, he's got his Tesla truck and his trailer, and he's coming to get this thing. I've never drove a Tesla before. But when he was trying to back up the trailer to the golf cart, he was struggling. And because we've done all this stuff for years and years and years, I actually know how to back up a trailer. It took me a while. Lots of practice, some tears to learn that skill. So I hold no judgment for anybody who cannot like haul a trailer or back a trailer. Like, it took me years, tears, and lots of practice. So anyways, he was struggling, and I asked him, I was like, would you like me to do it? Do you want me to go ahead and back it up for you? And he was like, yes, please. And so I got to drive a Tesla. I got to get in his Tesla truck and back it up. Y'all, it's different. It is different. The first thing I noticed, obviously, was that there was no shifter. Okay. It was like you change gears on a screen. So that was interesting. And then the steering wheel, you know, I'm used to on my Yukon, I turn the wheel several times when I'm backing up or whatever. It doesn't. It like barely turns. And then that's like the full capacity of the steering wheel turning situation. And I was like, so I struggled. So I definitely no judgment on that guy, because I am a seasoned trailer backer-upper, and the trailer he was hauling was very similar to one of our trailers. So I should have had no issues, because I've hauled this trailer to many places, getting many things that my husband did not want me to buy on Marketplace. And I struggled because of the way the Tesla trucks are set up. It's just not what I'm used to. Not that it's wrong, it's just different, right? It's not bad. I didn't bring a cup of water for my paintbrushes. That's me, and I didn't bring any paper towels or wipes. Maybe I have some on my craft cart. No. Hey, would somebody give me a cup of, like, a plastic cup of water from the sink and a paper towel, please? Thank you. Thankfully, my children are here and around and creeping around, trying to be as quiet as possible. The dogs don't care. The dogs do not care that I'm live. They're gonna play and roll around and make their growling noises and stuff, and they're just gonna be silly. Oh, these comments though, I wish I could see the comment section. Look at how that's looking though, y'all. Isn't that neat? You like it? I hope y'all like them. Let's see how these are looking together. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Look at those. You can make like a whole town just with your, just with some scraps of wood. One piece of a 2x4 could make you a gazillion of them, probably. I don't even know. I know that's not a number for realsies, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. You know what? I have my moss chalk paint over here. I think I'll do the moss chalk paint. I'll do that. And, okay. Let's do the mossy green. That's always a crowd favorite. I'm gonna use my little sponge brush over here. Which one should I do? Green. I'm thinking probably one of the short ones. Okay. Hopefully I can get up under here without messing up my roof blackness. I probably shouldn't have even put that in water yet, because I'm probably gonna have to touch this up. Yep. Already got it. And again. Oh gosh, this is me. This is me. I don't know how to be anybody else, y'all. I don't. I don't. I'm so glad y'all are here though. Be nice to see the comments. Maybe Facebook is like testing me just to see. I read a thing the other day that was like, it said, before you marry somebody, you need to have them do something on a computer with slow Wi-Fi just to see how mad they get, to see how they really act when they're mad. Oh gosh. I just was like, how true is that? How true is that? That's how you can really tell when it's technology not cooperating. People have a tendency to not be able to hold back. Oh, I love that green. The green with the black. Doesn't it look so good? Oh, I love it. Okay. So there's the green one. I'm not going to put that up just yet because I already put the black up and we all saw how that turned out. Okay. I have a Tuscan red here. I'm going to use. Let me get yet another paintbrush. Oh, let me bend. Oh, bending. I'm gonna have to work on my my flexibility, maybe, or goodness me, I'm gonna have to soak some of these in hand sanitizer. One of the crafters on here, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about soaking their brushes that had like hardened and got all funky, soaking them in hand sanitizer to make them better. Ooh, I like that red. Look at that red. That looks great. I'm loving it. Very rustic looking, primitive color looking. My little Barbie girl over here is shaking her head no at me because she is not about that. Oh, sweetie, you need to get in bed. It's already after 10. Send this girl to bed. We got to be up bright and early. I can go on very little sleep, but these little chickens of mine, they, if they don't get enough sleep, they are going to struggle tomorrow. And they've got quite a few contests going on. What do you guys have? I think they have consumer decision making. I believe so. Yes, consumer decision making with 4-H. I love that for them because it really does not matter what path they choose for their life. They're going to be able to use those skills that they learn from doing that project. They'll carry it throughout their entire life. So basically it is a contest where they are given a scenario, and the scenario usually involves like a storyline and a budget, and like usually talks about like a person and their needs. Sometimes it's like a dietary need, or maybe like a product need, like a laptop or a pair of shoes or something. And then they give them all these different options, and they have to place them in order from like the best option to the least best option. And at district, I can't remember how many there are. I think there's like 50 or something. There's a lot of them. At county, there was only like 3 or 4. It was a very low amount at county, but it was great practice for district. So we're gonna see how they do. But if they don't get their sleep, there might be tears tomorrow. Well, that grabbed the black a bit. Let me just dab that. Got my black in there. See that? Always a fun surprise when you hit an unexpected wet spot, right? That's all right. It adds charm. It adds charm. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and do this one, and I'm just gonna do this one like a creamy color. This is light mocha. Light mocha. Okay. What did I do? Okay. Here we go. One more brush to wash. What's one more, right? What's one more? Oh, goodness. That's all right. Okay. That way we have different colored houses. You rarely have two houses that are the same color, same exact color on one street. Well, I take that back. Nowadays, we really have that a lot, right? Especially like in subdivisions. And you could do that. That would be, if you really just wanted one look to it like that. I have a very eclectic personality. I like a lot of pizzazz. You can tell by my yellow shirt, right? This is a very happy shirt. It's very bright. I like it. I don't wear it very often because it's kind of at my limit of loudness, but I do like it. And I wore it this evening because I hoped that it would keep y'all awake if I got too boring. Hopefully my loud shirt will keep y'all awake while I'm sitting here painting away. I'm just doing these fun little projects. So I did have another one planned that I was going to do, but in true Sandra fashion, when it came down to it, I couldn't find the stuff that I had bought for the thing that I was going to make. Can you believe that? So I was like, well, that's out. I am a person who loves to be prepared for everything and anything, and but I have horrible organizational skills. My minimalist husband will tell you. No, he wouldn't tell you, but I mean, if I were there telling you, and he would definitely agree. He would say yes, that may be her from time to time not having the best organizational skills. So, but that's okay because I have an imagination and I always have other things to have as a backup. Okay, let's look at these together and see how it's looking. Oh gosh, I've only got 2 minutes left. Okay. Hey, can you grab me that Sharpie off of the flower canister? Yeah, see, that's my organizational skills. I'm sending my kid to get the Sharpie off of the flower canister because that's the place where most people keep their Sharpies, right? Is that not where you keep your Sharpie? I feel like it should be. I feel like it should be. Okay. Now, this is very high tech, okay? We are just going to draw, if it's, you want it to be dry, otherwise it's going to mess up your Sharpie. I'm just going to draw a door on here. And you could, okay, it's not completely, yeah, it's not going to do it. Let me get my black back out and we will paint on the door. It's best if you can do it with a Sharpie though, because that's going to give you more precision. But I don't have time to really dry my blocks here. So give it a little door, little windows. Okay. And so I'm gonna go ahead and remind y'all that there is another presenter coming up on Craft Around the Clock, so please go ahead and refresh and head on over there. And I am just going to finish these up, and once they're dry, I'm going to go around these black windows and doors to give it the true look that I'm going for. This little paintbrush really isn't giving it the full effect of what I want, but that's okay. So I hope y'all enjoyed my craft tonight, and I hope y'all have a blessed weekend, blessed Friday tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy the next crafter. I'm so sorry I couldn't respond to any comments in the comments section, but I couldn't see any. So anyways, thank you for being with me tonight again, and thank you for homemaking a homemade home with me today. Take care, y'all. Bye.